How's it going, gang? It's the final render here, and welcome to a video on Starfield. Everyone, I am so hyped to finally be talking about Starfield on this channel. I've wanted to talk about Starfield for many years now, but unfortunately, there's been nothing to show. But now, after Bethesda and Microsoft's joint E3 conference, we finally have a look at Starfield. Starfield is, of course, the first new IP by Bethesda Game Studios in 25 years, and it is a science fiction based space exploration single player RPG game. And this is really special because it is made by the original people from the Elder Scrolls franchise, one of the most successful RPG franchises of all time, and from the adopted parents of the Fallout franchise, which is also one of the most successful franchises of all time. But they've only worked on that for 25 years, and now they finally get a chance to do something completely new and completely original with all the latest tech and improvements they can possibly get their hands on. And you know what, guys? I am so hyped for this. I am a huge fan of the Fallout franchise, their other sci-fi RPG franchise. I am a huge fan of Mass Effect. I am a huge fan of games like Elite Dangerous, which have space exploration as their center core of gameplay. And also a big fan of films like Interstellar and stuff like that, and Alien, which show space travel in quite a believable way. And we're going to be taking a look at this teaser trailer, which we got yesterday, and also some of the images that have been posted after the teaser trailer went live, so we can talk about Starfield and why I think it's something that is going to be truly special. So, Starfield itself, the main thing which I love about everything we have seen so far is that this trailer is showing the tone of Starfield, which is kind of very believable space travel. If you look at the spaceship, it looks like it genuinely could exist within our current lifetimes, although this game is set a few hundred years in humanity's life cycle itself, so a few hundred years from now. However, the ship itself looks very believable and realistic. It's not like a Star Wars or a Star Trek spaceship where space travel is easy, we've got amazing technology that is almost like magic. It looks like a very real spaceship. It almost looks like a military plane almost. Let's actually take a look at this trailer. We do have mouse control and stuff here, so we actually can look at some of these images, and we will also look at some of the images that have been revealed outside of the trailer as well. So firstly, as you can see, everything is kind of stowed away with cables and ratchet straps and stuff. It looks a lot like a kind of military cargo aircraft, like a Hercules or AC-130 or something like that, you know. Everything is strapped down and it looks very realistic. We've also got things like first aid kits on the wall and stuff. There's no real logos and stuff visible here, although just some warnings of flammable liquids and stuff. There could be like oxygen tanks and stuff like that over there, which would obviously be essential for space travel. We also have a ladder which we see the character climb, and a lot of people are memeing on that because Bethesda games have never actually been able to use ladders. And we can also see our hero right here, or we believe to be our hero, in an actual spacesuit. You know, it's a very realistic looking spacesuit. It's not like some future sci-fi things where they've managed to terraform all the planets and stuff. No, wearing spacesuits is going to be something important, which it is pretty much always going to be, as far as I'm aware. You know, unless you can terraform a planet, you're always going to need a spacesuit. And it also looks like a very realistic spacesuit. It looks like one we would see astronauts wearing now, if maybe a little bit slimmed down, which is pretty important to note. Okay, so we can see them going up the ladder, and we've got a really cool looking table. One thing I do want to say is that all of this is made in the Creation Engine 2, which is a brand new version of the Creation Engine, which they've been using since, like, Morrowind, maybe? So, they finally got an enormous improvement to graphics. A lot of people who like Bethesda games have always said their graphics aren't necessarily on par with other games coming out at the time, but now, as we can see from this trailer, that it's not only on par, I wanted to say it beats a lot of the graphics we have seen from other games coming out soon. So that's really cool. It appears to be like some kind of navigation desk in a way. You know, maybe this is like a star map you can use to navigate to get your ship around and stuff like that, with lots of really realistic looking textures on the panels and stuff like that. A little quick look at the HUD. We do know this is an in-game HUD from some leaked images from a few years ago. However, I've never bought those to the channel because I don't really like covering leaks and stuff. And what I love about the look of Starfield is that everything kind of looks like it is grounded in reality of what we know about space travel. We've got food in little pots and stuff. We've got liquids inside bags. We've got kind of cubed food. You know, we've got like a cubed tomato and like a cubed baked potato, all vacuum packed and stuff. It looks like what we know about actual space travel so far. It's very much based within our reality. But we also do have some stuff which is a little bit based in the future. Great example is obviously this gun right here, looking like it's going to be some kind of SMG type weapon. But then again, the way weapons are going now, we are starting to get much more bullpup styled weapons and stuff. So it could actually still have the effective range of, say, assault rifles in the future. But it does look to have a kind of P90-esque magazine right there with a fully video enabled top. So you can see how much ammo you have in there. You can see how much ammo you have left in the clip. You can see what kind of bullets are in there. There's like explosives there. People have been talking about this little battery indicator, which looking like it's going to be powering the display on the magazines, etc. Very, very cool indeed. And also what looks like kind of grenades and stuff like that there, maybe. Very exciting stuff. And if we actually look around this spaceship a little bit more, we can just see so much life and kind of establishing what the world is going to be. The most obvious thing here in the stow bay is we have a space helmet with what looks like a bullet hole in it, pretty much confirming again that there will be, you know, out of atmosphere combat, which is going to be very, very cool. We get a look at this little space station here. We saw that in the original teaser trailer, which was shown during the E3 during Fallout 76's gameplay reveal, so that's pretty cool. We also have Sailing Around the World by Captain Joshua Slocum. He was the first person to circumnavigate the planet, I believe, in a boat. So all about exploration. And Omega, which I think is a French political novel about the end of the world. I'm not too certain about that. And we also have this box, which we'll actually mention later on, but it does actually look like this is going to contain what is kind of going to be the display for the game. It's got like a watch in it, which is going to be a very important part of the franchise. It's going to be like our Pip-Boy, so to speak. It contains the Chronomark Life Pack Interlink, so I suspect that means this watch will be what gives us our oxygen and health and stuff like that. And what I love about this is that it's got so much little details about what you would need to do if you were actually in space. For example, duct tape everywhere. You need to duct tape things down, you need to have Velcro on all the walls and stuff to stop things from flying around in zero-G, which is awesome. And we've also got just lots of important maths and stuff written onto mirrors and stuff. Because, you know, if you're in space, you need to write something down quickly. That could mean the difference between your spaceship blowing up and certain death or not. You just write it anyway. You write it on the mirror. Just get it done. And we also have lots of interesting bits of lore and stuff like that. And one thing which is actually really interesting is that reminder that Cydonia security does not have a sense of humor. I believe I read somewhere that Cydonia is this robot that we have actually seen in the trailer. We'll get a closer look at it later on. But we get all the different emblems and stuff like that of different exploration ventures and stuff. And there actually is a narration going over the trailer which talks about how we, the player, presumably, have found something that is really important. And the entire game is supposedly about finding alien life or proof of other life, etc. Are we alone in the universe? And then we cut to this right here, which definitely looks like a kind of anatomical diagram of some kind of structure. And this may be the kind of MacGuffin of the game. It may be that we, as the player, find this, which is left by some alien race, kind of like Prothean technology in Mass Effect or something like that, you know? Something that could propel us hundreds of years in the future with our technology. And we have a beautiful look at this planet. Everyone, set this as your wallpaper. I know I'm going to. But this is a look at our spaceship, and we also get a look at what could be a planet or even a moon with a little building next to it. Now, all we can really gather from this planet is, one, it has already had humans on it before because there is a habitat pod of some kind here. Maybe this is where we found that alien tech. And also, wherever we are right now does have an atmosphere. It doesn't necessarily mean it's breathable, but it means it has an atmosphere. And as far as I'm aware, there aren't any moons in our solar system that have an atmosphere. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that might mean that we have found like a potential 10th planet within our solar system, which is very, very cool. But yeah, we can actually get a look at the name. This is the Frontier NG-1350. Very beat up ship, looks very practical. It looks very believable, and it looks rusted and horrid and in bad condition. It's not shiny like a Star Trek ship or something. It's very, very down and dirty. And here's that robot I mentioned earlier. Again, I don't remember where I saw or read that that was what the robot's name was, but that's the robot, and apparently he doesn't have a sense of humor. So that's fun. But yeah, you can actually tell this place has an atmosphere because the light is actually starting off bright and then fading into darkness as the top. That only happens on a planet or moon which has an atmosphere. So therefore, we know that there is an atmosphere on this planet. If it doesn't have an atmosphere, it's just the blackness of space, which is something very, very cool. Nice little attention to detail right there. So, you know, we will have like simulated atmospheric weather conditions based on different planets and stuff, we presume. And also the spaceship lifts up with conventional propellant technology that we know now, you know. The only difference is that at the very start of the trailer, you hear them mentioning helium-3, which as far as I'm aware isn't a real fuel source currently, but it is something which scientists are kind of hypothesizing that if we could make it, would be powerful enough for us to transfer our spaceships to different planets and stuff. Again, could be completely wrong about that, but that is how the spaceship is going to work, and it's going to work using conventional fuel sources that maybe just we in our timeline don't have. But it's not like powered by like gravity engines or something like that, you know. But also, one thing which I think is so cool about this is that it just establishes that it's cool enough to have the scientists and stuff make a spaceship like this in a video game. Maybe I can explain that in a different way. We don't need to dress up actual science for it to be cool. You know, this is all very believable stuff, and it looks so cool. Whereas in things like Starfield or Star Trek, etc., you might try to make up new and fantastic and amazing technology to make it seem cool, but no, the developers are trusting real science to be cool enough. And it is, you know, real science is always way cooler than made up science, and it's very, very cool to actually finally see space travel done in quite a convincing way. I believe one interview quite a long time ago by Todd Howard, he said, traveling in Starfield in space is like traveling by air in the 40s. You know, it's possible, but it's fairly dangerous and it's not as good as it is now, kind of thing. So that's something really, really cool. The only thing we don't really get from this teaser trailer is any real gameplay, which is a shame because this game is coming out in a year and a half now. I was really hoping it would come out this year, but you know, it's been a hard year with COVID and stuff like that. And also, it's a brand new generation of console hardware, so having it later may mean we'll get a prettier game overall. But one thing which I also want to mention before we close out looking at the teaser trailer itself, other than its release date, 11/11/22, is that this one is only going to be on the Xbox Series X and S consoles and on PC. It is also coming to Xbox Game Pass on day one, I believe, so that's very, very exciting. But unfortunately, that does mean PlayStation systems, i.e. the PlayStation 5, will not have Starfield. I know there's going to be lots of PlayStation players who are upset about that, but the way I see it, you have a year and a half to save your money to get yourself an Xbox Series X or S or a gaming PC, should you really want to play Starfield. You know, Microsoft acquired Bethesda because they wanted access to those licenses, and they've got it. You can't blame them for making it exclusive when they paid something like $7 billion in order to acquire Bethesda. Which, by the way, is more money than Disney paid for Marvel. It's more money than Disney paid for Star Wars, even. So, yeah, they're going to make that exclusive, unfortunately. You have a year and a half to maybe save for a new console and stuff. I'm not going to spend too much time looking into detail of all of the trailer shots and stuff like that, because there's already 1,000,001 videos on YouTube zooming in on all the details and reading all the text and stuff like that. But I just wanted to kind of talk about what I thought was very cool in this trailer here. And it's more so that I like the fact that the science, real world science, is cooler than, you know, made up science. And that's the kind of tone of Starfield, which I love. But we do have some other images to look at, because the Washington Post actually did have a kind of behind the scenes video release actually just before it was revealed. It was kind of accidentally leaked a couple of hours too early, but of course it's been shown the trailer now, so we can go and show these extra images which they showed, because the Washington Post had a kind of behind the scenes video where we looked at some of the cool things about Starfield, but I think that was meant to release after the teaser trailer. But anyways, it's out now. But it does contain a lot of cool images. Here's Chad, Fallout 76 Story Podcast. He's uploaded some of the images to Twitter. They're all over the internet, but, you know, we like Chad, so we're going to use his images as reference, which show concept art of Starfield. Here's a really cool bit of concept art which shows what looks like the same spaceship we were in during the actual trailer down there in a manufacturing plant being made, and we can also see what looks like a representation of the player character down here. What's really cool about this is that this may mean that we can dock our spaceships into spaceports and buy upgrades and stuff like that, get different paint jobs, etc. Very similar to games like Elite Dangerous, to where we can raise money and buy a new warp engine so we can go further and stuff like that, you know, or buy new thrusters so we can go faster, maybe even weapons. But it did look like in the actual trailer that the ship didn't have any obvious weaponry on board. I don't think there's going to be necessarily space combat. We don't even know if there's going to be space or like space travel in the sense that we the player fly our ship itself. I don't know, there's no reason to say there isn't, but there's also no reason to say there is, so we'll just kind of hope there is, maybe. But we also get stuff like this beautiful sci-fi city on seasteads. Now, this is a really cool thing because a lot of the planets, even in our solar system, don't necessarily have ground, but they do have liquid. So therefore, maybe this is like a kind of habitat on a planet in our solar system, which has water at its base, or even outside of our solar system. There's like spaceships docking, there's boats flying around, driving around, and it does look like it's got like a protective layer on the top. So maybe the environment isn't 100% terraformed or something like that yet. Very, very cool indeed. Really looking forward to that. We also have really dark, like, forest vegetation, planets and stuff like that. Again, this is all concept art. These aren't in-game screenshots. These are all concept art that we can see in the video from the Washington Post. And also, we got some really cool cities in, like, more kind of Icelandic style planets. You know, very rocky, very, very harsh terrain. But we've got cities built into them with planets in the sky right there, or giant moons. Very, very cool looking. Along with this one, which I think is interesting, which does show like a dark cave. It kind of looks like something in the Cranberry Bog in Fallout 76 or something. But we do have two people here, which may hopefully mean we can get companions inside Starfield, which is something which would be very, very cool. And also something which is very cool here is just a really pretty planet here. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think this is a view from inside our solar system. So maybe we do actually leave the Sol system after all. You know, we might genuinely do that. I honestly don't recall seeing any planets like that. Okay, but there are also some other images which are in the Washington Post, which Chad right here actually hasn't linked, but I have them right here. We have a very cool kind of snowy environment here. This looks something like Star Wars, doesn't it? You know, this looks very, very cool, but it does suggest that there are different forms of life on different planets. Some of them look very rough and rural and just kind of habitable places, but then again we also have like incredible metropolises and stuff. You know, we've got a very varied landscape to explore, and apparently there are also dozens of factions and stuff like that in the game, so we can make friends and make allies, get quests and stuff. Very, very cool. And we also have this right here. Look at that. That is an absolutely gorgeous metropolis right there. I would love to go there and see what's up. I think that is a beautiful city. That looks something like from Blade Runner, my favorite movie, which I think would be a fantastic place to visit. But who knows? Maybe it's a really dangerous place to be in the game. We don't know. And we also have this really pretty shot of our spaceship. Again, with the robot doing some repairs on the outside. The robot kind of reminds me of the robots from Interstellar and stuff like that. And also what looks like our player character maybe setting up like a radar dish or a communication link so that we can maybe send a message to a different spaceship or something. Maybe the technology isn't as good as it is in other franchises, so we actually need to get out and build like a little communication array in order to send a long-range message or something. I don't know, but very, very cool image overall. And here is the actual video from the Washington Post, which has shown a lot of those images which we saw. It's also entirely narrated by Todd Howard, so I'm hoping this becomes like a series they do of the making of Starfield, where every now and then we get a video showing them making Starfield. But this is one thing I wanted to show here. We opened up that box we saw in the teaser trailer, and we can see what is supposedly that watch. We've got the chrono mark written there, estimated 2188, so that is likely the year. And it's also got all these kind of really cool displays on it. Now, that to me looks like a real item. That looks real to me. So I wonder if this is like a pre-order bonus or something with like the Constellation patch. Constellation being the company you work for in the franchise, which is very, very cool. But yeah, I am so hyped for Starfield, people. The reason I am so hyped for Starfield is because this is everything I want in the look of a space game. You know, it looks like Alien or something, you know, it doesn't look like Star Wars or Star Trek. And it's very cool to see some of the most talented RPG makers making something new for the first time in a very long time. And I am really excited to see more. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. It's been kind of rough and ready, this video. I'm just kind of speaking and doing all this live. But I hope you have enjoyed this quick look at Starfield. I am genuinely so excited as a Starfield fan. I think this is going to be something which we're all going to be looking forward to over the next 2 years. Even before the game is released, I'm looking forward to doing analysis on it and stuff like that. Very, very cool stuff. We can also see in behind the scenes, there's like new motion capture technology and stuff like that. And I just think this is something we should all pay attention to. So thanks very much for watching, everyone. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye, gang. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you to all of our YouTube members and Patreon supporters. Special thank you to our Level 3 YouTube members, which currently consists of PsykerGirl, Katrina McKenna, and Raven's Roost.